Hold on. Not, are we live?
We're live. We are live, Mister. Uh, it's 2:06. I guess I
I
don't.
know. I should have
I
been
mean,
doing what you were doing.
yeah,
Now I just remembered
yeah.
that
So,
I have to. So yeah, you can introduce everything. Well, I just give me a second on this one.
oh yeah, cause I'm gonna be in and out, But anyway, good afternoon, world, and it's July 7th, 2026. Oh, did I say 2026? Oh my goodness. I apologize. I'm already in campaign mode. All right, it's July 7th, 2024. Good afternoon, world. Welcome to a small little podcast here, Bantu TV, that we do every Sundays, and try to tackle and make sense of the most jarring, viral, trending Zambian news, here. So every Sunday, you guys, you watch us go at it, and here is what we're good at. My name is Kalinda Shichinda, and I'm live direct from the Midwest city of Indianapolis, here in the U.S. And look who just popped out from wherever he missed last week, so we forgive him. But he's back on live today. Back to the do your vuvuzelas, as we all
Yeah. Thank you, Makalinda. My name is Chanda Slufia, and of course, I'm broadcasting live from Ontario, Canada. And yeah, I apologize for last week. I had a family engagement. Of course, it was Canada Day, so you gotta be with the kids. Take them out. That's how it is. So yeah, so we're back this week again, and we've got a huge a number of topics that we need to decipher. And of course, we welcome you to the podcast. Join in, click the link. You can put your comments, and it'll be highlighted by Bakali on top when you make any comments. If you like joining into the conversation, just follow, click the link, and you'll be added to the conversation, and your voice will be heard. This is Bantu TV, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining.
great. Absolutely, and like Lufia said, those that are joining in, when I bring you in the studio, please share your videos. We want to see them live, and yeah, I guess we've been a little. I think for me, really, I've been a little patient with you all. I share my ugly face every Sunday. So I expect to see the faces of the people I'm talking to. It's important, and yeah, so that's what we do. And like Tulifia says, yeah, just come on in here. It's all today. All bets are off. All bets are off, and I mean that. Oh my word! And
Oh my
don't
word.
we have a packed show? And the topics are just so juicy
Oh
to a
yeah.
point that I can't keep my fingers together here. Yeah, I mean, come on. We have a loaded show. So,
Mhm.
but Sophia, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
You
of
know,
course I do.
yeah,
Of
and
course I do.
yeah, I guess there's no way easy way out here. We should just go ahead and jump into the topics here, right? And it is what it is. And
It is what it is.
I think for this one, right, I will
Mm.
let you just you set it up. You set it up. You set it up. You know,
Okay.
you just set it up. I'll let you do that.
Oh, well, of course, we all know the burning topic, what's been brewing in everybody's mind, everybody's head. about, of course, our the biggest party in the world, the PF. They call themselves the biggest party with three presidents, two SGs. I mean, yes, of course, it's the biggest party in the world, if you call it that way. I mean, I've never seen it, I've never heard of it, of a party having three presidents. I don't know. I think they're setting different standards that nobody will ever match. So, yes, we're going to discuss all those things. And of course, we all know what transpired during the week. Uh, I think we have to start with where did all this start from? Uh, if you look at when Mao Sampa, the Matero MP, went to visit ECL, that's when everything started unfolding. So people are saying, like, look, whichever ECL, change can she? Like every time he's involved in something, we'll hear about something else happening. So immediately they met himself, according to his own mouth, Mao Sampa. They sat down for like 3 hours, and they never met in the last 3 years. I don't know how possible that is, for not meeting somebody for 3 years when you're all in the same political party. I don't know which one it is, because there's so many different PF. You don't know which one it is, and then top of that, there's also UKWA. We don't know whether it's who knows. So they sat down. After sitting down, the next day we hear is Mao Sampa expelling his SG and expelling, dissolving the whole committee. The reasons best known to himself. He hasn't given us a proper reason. I watched his interview the other day on TV. He was just, going through the loops without giving us a straight answer. So on that one, I don't really know, Vakalinda. Why do you think Ramal Sampa dissolved the NMC of his peers?
Actually, do you even? I don't. First of all, to begin with, I don't understand Miles. I mean, I just don't understand how his brain works. So I mean, you and I obviously watched the same interview on Diamond TV, and he labored to explain what happened. And according to him, now here's the thing, Zambians, okay, and I'm gonna take it back to last year, okay, when Miles and he expelled those 9 MPs, right? And they went to court, and they didn't challenge his expulsion. They challenged his presidency, right?
Mhm.
After that convention he had at Mulungushi last year, which ushered him into power, right? And so here we are, and we had him, of course, expelling, because I guess they had those differences, and those MPs went to court, and it was adjudicated in court, and this past week, a ruling was rendered. Okay, a ruling was rendered, and that ruling was absolutely earth-shattering to the PF, because guess what, the judge decided, and he decided, and this was a precedent. And again, let me backtrack to what year was that? Was that 2015, 2016, at that convention that ushered in Mr. Lungu, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, top notch.
Mhm.
You know how we had how many, 20, 30 MPs expelled from the PF because they did not agree to that convention that ushered him, and he fired, and they were all expelled. They went to court, and the judge was rendered then, which stated that the PF at the time were within their powers. I mean, Lungu was within his powers as party president to expel them, and that caused another massive by-election, right? So it's the same thing that happened this year. I mean, last year, Mao's expelled those 9 MPs, as and then I guess in his wisdom, maybe he did go back to the 2011, 2014 ruling, and in his wisdom, he says, well, there are no permanent enemies in politics, and so he was trying to walk back what he vomited last year, and he knew that the judge was going to toss out that lawsuit against him by the those 9, I would call them rogue MPs, and once that happened, so I guess in the background or he was holding dark corner meetings and trying to resolve the impasse with those 9, and according to him, he didn't want to cause this by-election, which to me, those were little efforts, a little too late. And of course, we saw then after that judgment was rendered, we saw the Speaker act decisively in this case, and declared those seats vacant. And as of today, we had the election commission stating actually that they have received those directives. So they're about to call for elections in those 9 seats. So I mean, even I sometimes can't follow the shenanigans in the PL. So, like I said, I don't understand it. I think the PF are playing to the gallery as they always do, that's Rufia. Not understand.
Okay.
Oh, let's bring somebody in.
Yes.
Miss Rosina Faust. Welcome to the podcast, madam.
Thank you. I'm just listening.
Okay, all right.
No, we also would like to see you. We want to see people who are we talking to, and so that we can know.
My
You're going to be
hair
a
is
movie
not
star.
my hair is not okay.
Oh, look at you! You look just fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, okay. Patande lelo. Leon Patonde,
Sunday we are
everybody
home
is
and
just
everything.
relaxing at home, so that's fine. Yeah, we welcome you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
All
you.
right, and let's bring in another new entrant. Oh, I love this name, Kacha Escamenda. Welcome to Bantu TV Podcast, and please show us your face and where are you joining us from this? Is it morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are?
It's morning in Arizona, but I can't show my face. I just got out of bed.
It's a Sunday.
Everybody's
It's
just waking up.
Sunday. All right, but we certainly appreciate you joining in this afternoon where I am. If you're in Zambia, it's evening, and everybody else joining into the rest of the world. Anyway, here we are discussing what I call the shenanigans in the PF. So at the end of the week, here's what I really found out that we have a 3 sprinter party within the PF where we have 3 presidents now. We have the old, I'll call it the old guard, being headed by the former president, Edgar Lungu, Mr. Top Notch himself. And then we have I don't know what to call that, the new blood, or the bloodline. Should we call it the bloodline? I mean, because my Samba says it's his uncle's party, so we might as well call it the bloodline. PF, led by him, and according to the law, by all accounts, and by all those 30 court cases against him, he's the legitimate president of the party. And now we have his former General Secretary, what is his name again? Mr. Ngona? Is that his name, Mr. Ngona?
Vasalinga? Who was it?
No, the former General Secretary that he just fired. Who's that? Ngona or Bacha? Oh, Bachabinga. Bachabinga is also
Salinga.
yeah. He's a new. I guess he's a new
So
order.
he fired Vachavinga, and Vachavinga also fired Mausam because
Yes.
he's now the president.
Yeah. So it's a question of the fired being and all these shenanigans.
Oh my God.
Nine MPs are no longer, serving their constituencies because the speaker moved in, or the deputy speaker, or the acting speaker at the time actually, moved in and declared their seats vacant because the court ruled against them in the courts of law. So
And,
where we
and
start?
that's where the confusion starts now. There's so many things and there's so many arguments on that point. One, they're saying that the speaker has no right or no power to announce the seats to be vacant. But of course, we all know, he has that power to do that as long as the members were expelled. So Mao Sampa expelled his MPs. So all the
Right.
speaker has to do is announce it. Or once they're expelled, he has the right to say these seats are now vacant. So now we're going to dive deep into that later on. But I would like to hear from our guest, Kalinda. What do you think? What does you feel about the whole situation?
Sister Naminda, actually, I made a mistake. I called her. Yeah, she
Oh,
dropped off. I guess she doesn't want to come on. It's okay. And in the meantime, we have somebody tuned in from YouTube here. Lorato Jacobs. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. So and all these shenanigans, but
mm,
all these shenanigans in PF. What do you make of it? I mean, I just don't get it. I'm still pulling my hair out, or should I say my wig out? It's just it's just too much. Yeah,
it is
I
just
mean,
too
it's
much.
like a whole week. Instead of Zambians welcoming the news from the World Bank, giving us a grant of $207 million to support the vulnerable during these tough times with the drought. Look at us, Tunisia.
Mm.
Drooling
Well,
over
Zambia,
by PF.
Zambia has become a movie. You know,
Eh?
it's a movie,
Drooling over
especially
by PF.
but PF they are well they entertain us. You know, it's every day you wake up, you turn on your internet. There's something new to say about that PF, and it's very laughable. I mean, you can laugh about it because Ilingi Lingi, yes, we're supposed to be talking about the good things, that's
Right.
happening. And of course, there's so many good things that are happening, and I think we'll discuss all those things. But for now, let's enjoy their downfall because these are the last kicks of the dying horse. Ape boti filia. If you watch the Titanic, you remember pale number boti yachita sink, and then the people now we're now just holding on to a log. Basanga bichi logo, bali menshi. They don't even know when help is gonna come. Epo bafikire nomba pa stage apa bapie. Bali mu menshi nomba. Bot naista naibunda. Yabunda bot, and then now people just holding on now. They're just holding on, hoping who's gonna save us. Is it Lungu is going to come to save us? Is it Mouse Sampa? Is it Vachavinga? Nobody knows. So that's where it is. So and it's good for them because truly the PF is a bad example of a political party. Nobody's gonna take anything from them because one, it was the most violent party, most undemocratic party, and they destroyed the Zambian economy. So Nefia Varela and I, when I was watching Presa over ECL, that he built a real democratic the constitution that's revered across Africa. Like, really, did you follow it? He abrogated the constitution. So, now if we could have a here, let them sink. Just like Mayowa Nalumangu said in parliament, at the Jihunye. And we call them never Jihunye.
Eh?
Jihunye, Jihunye, right? I'm saying
What
it
does
correctly?
that even that? Oh, you mean our humble Home Affairs Minister, Baji Hunya. You mean that and that eats everything else, and when it's done, it eats itself.
Yes.
Oh,
So that's
exactly.
what the vice president said that in parliament last time.
She
I don't know if
said
you watched that clip.
she even quoted to Baji Hunya.
Yes. And then the speaker asked her, what does that mean? And then she said it's an insect in Tonga that it's called Jihunye. It eats itself. So that's what the PF is. They're eating themselves. So don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on HH. So everything that goes wrong on the HH.
Oh my word! So
The
funny.
PF is falling apart. No, it's HH's fault.
So yeah, we
You
should
are
just call
eating
it
yourselves.
Baji Hunya.
Jihunye. Yeah, she said it in parliament. You didn't see it.
Oh, my aunt, she's so funny. I love her. I love her. I love her so much. Oh my goodness. I'm sure they're not happy about that. So there we have it. So we have a PF that's on the other hand, it's accusing the UPND of sponsoring all the ills against it that are pertaining to its operations right now. And guess who is here? This very moment. The man I've been waiting all week.
Yeah. I'm watching.
Arrested PS. I want to see your face as we discuss this today.
I'm just on the road and everything is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mwaita ni wakalamba. Kama si.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hao mdala wanji. Ili akinali vipa. Ili akinali vipa. Ili ashi. Hao dali vipa mdala
Abaji hunya na ibipa bakalamba. Ili ashi abaji hunya.
The APF becoming a three-headed monster.
It's about PF number. You split it to three.
Nakishiba. Blame it on us.
But ichalo chose chali chibatemo mwaba.
Yakize ichalo kiremiseka. Look, who fired who? Did HH fire those 9 MPs?
How come you know something like provide security ngamwapango wenu? Ngamwaipangira opposition mwapa mwatwala kwenye wakapokola.
Okay, they can do it step by step. Mama Samba Barista fire, I'm a 9 MPs.
No.
Save you.
No. No, Bakaramba, let me just say this, okay? Let me go back to not even that action. Let's go back to rebranding. Yeah? In fact, let's go back to Baedika Chakwalungu writing a letter to cabinet saying he's done. And then he appoints Bagive Lubinda. And then Lubinda says we are rebranding. And then they called for nomination where people paid 200 pin. And in Mao Sampa's voice, when he took over the party, the coffers were dry. And then let's talk about after taking those 200,000 kwacha from how many 10 presidential hopefuls, then you come back and say we don't know when the convention is going to be. And guess what? That left a bad taste in Mao Samba. And Mao Samba is still reliving 2011 when somebody, I'm not even going to mention names, when somebody was ushered into the PF president by a show of pangas at a convention. And remember, in that year, we had 2 PF conventions which were being held simultaneously. One which had Balungu, and the other one which had Mao Samba. Let's go from there.
Okay. Now, when we talk from there, and then we must now go all the way to what has happened here.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, I'm starting from that overnight convention where the police worked overnight to change the office bearers, to clear the fingerprints and everything else. And immediately provide 24 hours security to one PF new president Mao Samba. Fyonse fyachitika mubushikulumo. Other day, when it is an official Independence Day, without having an oh, if it's taken if. Peter Mao Samba with state assistance. Peter Mao Samba starts to make changes. He starts to make changes, even appoint. Now he has the power as the president to appoint and disappoint. And apparently now Chavinga is appointed. When that is happening, PF tells you guys, it now done. Yes, if Mao Samba wanted, it must be called by the chairperson, other people must be there, even if Alefogu is saying those. But the system is faulty, the way he has taken it. What did you guys all you do? You jumped all the ways to support Mao Samba. Now Mao Samba comes and says, okay, now using the same powers, I'm going to be this city now, it becomes a PF thing. And the rights to parliament to say, remember Nafumiapo, new leader of opposition. Nasana na new leader of opposition. Then parliament says, no. So it becomes a comedy of errors. Mwalanda is a person who recognized has taken action which you have consequently said is not recognized. Then the person fires is the one who goes and fires the person who appointed him. How? And then the government is there to say yes. And 24 hours, do you really think that Zambians are so very stupid that they can't read between the lines? But it's okay. This is what happens every time. Politicians never learn. Parties never learn. They all behave the same way. So, what is any? It's a
Oh my goodness. Our resident PS. Bad resident PS.
At overnight, go ahead. You put out good points, but what from Mwalanda first of all, is the way you're explaining it, you're explaining it, just like a politician should explain it. Overnight protection, overnight papers.
Yes.
Those things are not done overnight. Mao Samba has been planning. Mao Samba was planning all these things way before. No, Moneni. He was even saying, he said those two guys. Okay? But those even two guys were saying, I don't have a plan. Yeah? I mean, FBI and the America is there.
Sure.
So he was planning all this time. So things were not done overnight. He did that, he did the paperwork, he took it to Register of Society and all that stuff. It wasn't done overnight, like you're putting it in dollar. Eh? It
Okay.
wasn't done overnight. It wasn't done overnight. Tabukire kwati chivanda chamuvusha fe pum. Lero naye kunanikane oh no. Silent ya papa judge pum pum okay mouse up. No. It was planned out. So those things were planned out, and Mouse Sampa, believe it or not, there he played you because he knew that you were going to play him. So he said, okay, fine. Last time I knew they can Nyunya na in a way. So I'm in Nyunya. No problem. The thing is this. Mouse Sampa Vampela Bola, Astana and can fumble the ball. You know? Then immediately he went back to ECL to kneel down. That's when I knew that, oh, wow. Next thing we hear, he has dissolved his AMC, he's fighting Vena Chavinga and all those stuff, and confusion in number yaka. Oh, never UPND ever. Why UPND ko leave? Nishimao Sampale Watafaya. We like to be patient. We want to back ahead.
Batanda. Namwishiba, tuiona ula democracy in this matter. We must not use ourselves and allow that the democracy that people have been talking about must be destroyed in this manner. If it will let it will come back to haunt you. I'm telling you, I have lived enough to check that when systems are designed to kaput one person, they usually backfire. This thing will backfire on all the democracies. I'm telling you, on all the political parties. It's a good thing it is happening to PF right now. But Milo, it will be a different case. Okay, yes, but PF, we are celebrating about the confusion which is sponsored. You see,
Oh my goodness, by a resident PS.
Those people, let me just finish up this one. You see, if you look at the question, certain questions can't be answered. They are left unanswered. Because when they ask to say, how was the police protection granted overnight? When did he notify that there was going to be there are going to be a convention to elect them? How? And then you are not part of the PF. You are non-state actors. Let PF sort themselves out. But the commentaries that are run by UPND over the PF convention, over the PF confusion, is worrying. Why are you so concerned then? Because the discussion that has been there online and everything, it's like PF. This is the one you guys go and gang around and say, hey, we win. When it was Mao Sampa, you all went and said, Mao Sampa. Now, not having guys up. No Mao Sampa to send your bola, therefore, not having a number. Do you really think that people cannot read between the lines of things that are happening? Or they are so dumb? It's not right. It's not right. Me, I love the TV. It's not right. Let PF fight its own battles. Government should not get involved in these things. UPND structures and systems, they should stay away out of this. You are creating a problem for yourselves in the future. I'm telling you.
You know, I'm a bit confused. Where is the UPND government interfering?
Let me tell you where the UPND.
I'm confused. I don't understand. But PF the same language. They are all saying the same thing, but where?
Let me tell you where. And let me tell you where the suspicion and where the conviction of UPND government is getting involved is this. Number one, the level of police protection when the illegality is being happened, that illegal convention is happening. The level of police protection, number one. Number two, the level of your personal involvement when the moment PF said, no, this is a bad convention, who is number one to defend Mausa? It was UPND government. You are the ones that jump in to defend. He is a legitimate one. How? If it's not, you are not part of it, why are you getting involved? So the question is, your level of involvement has created a problem The level of commentary from the president even going to acknowledge that no, he's a leader of opposition now. How? The level of high level commentaries from yourselves. Cornelius Muetwa, what has he said? He has said, I am me. I am proud to tell you that I'm part of the people financing confusion in PF. He has said it.
You don't misquote him.
Online.
No.
Don't misquote him.
Bakazia,
Do you want
our beloved President.
Do you want me to show you the video where he was saying?
No, I know that. I watched
I
it
mean,
myself.
the minister was just being
You have misquoted.
sarcastic.
Deputy
No,
Farland,
he was
those
being
were not his exact
sarcastic.
words.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He was being sarcastic.
let's just work on this thing and say, okay, this is the way forward in terms of how we can strengthen our democracy. But when people are complaining and they're not listening to the things that they're complaining about, you can't listen to them. It's okay when people are in power. They always do that. 28 years that I've been in government, I've seen these games played around politicians when I was in the civil service. I saw these things happen every time. When people say it's not true, justification, rationalization.
Okay. First of all, you mentioned 2 points.
Yeah, before you come in, let me bring in.
Go ahead, Bakarin.
Let me bring in a new entrance here, and I would like to start with the one that came in first. Mr. Oh my goodness, he's been gone he's back now. Mr. Linowe Muela, welcome back to the podcast, and show us your face and tell us where you're joining us from, just for our viewers that don't know you.
Thank you so much. I can't show you my face right now. Power is only coming at midnight.
You're in the
What?
dark.
Yes,
You're in the dark. You're in the dark. All right.
in the dark, we had the windy ceremony just a few days ago. So apparently, it's become I don't know. It's become a privilege to any town the president is visiting at the moment, especially as long as it's not Lusaka. If the president is in town, you are privileged to have power. You are guaranteed to have power for the duration of the stay of the president in that particular town. You had power for 3 days.
By the way, can you say that again?
So anyway, we are in the darkness, but I'm glad to be back. I've missed 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm here right now. I think the other week I was available, but we had challenges with our network. But I am here right now.
Well,
Pardon?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I would like to just make a contribution on the accusation that UPND is meddling in with the PF. I think it's a bit confusing if you look at if you hear the accusations about the UPND meddling in PF matters. And I think Mausam has come out clean and said, look, I'm not sponsored. And he's back and he has reconciled with Edgar Lungu. What has happened to the people that were purportedly sponsoring him? I think this guy it's a self-destruction button that Maus Samparitra pressed. And it's pure confusion, and I don't think there's any single ounce of proof, okay, to show where was the money exchanged? Where is the message where Mausamba was discussing with? It's pure confusion. So I think to hear someone talking about how is it the state or the UPND is meddling in PF affairs, it's confusing because the same parties, the party that you are saying was sponsored, has reconciled with the party that is. Was claiming to be aggrieved and making those same same excuses about the UPND meddling into PF matters. But then look at the confusions that have ensued ever since these problems started. So I do not think it is right to bring those accusations and say no. The UPND is disturbing the PF. How? I think even the claims from Cornelius Mwetwa, talking about the sentiments that he said, I think that was sarcasm. Okay,
That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I was telling Bakas here. The minister.
yes, that was actually sarcasm. If someone can easily come in your party and just cause confusion like that, what kind of stability are you talking? Are you really talking about? Someone just comes and causes distraction that you lose, someone loses a presidency, that leads to losing of or nullification of seats in parliament. I think that is uncalled for. I don't think it is right to accuse the UPND in this particular case when we all know that this was purely a self-destruct button.
Tell them.
A story
Anyway,
is told. A story
thank
is
you
told.
so much. But let's get Mr. Himwani.
A story is told. A story is told of a couple years back that wanted to divorce or separate. This man goes there, helps them to separate. And then after 2 years, this couple gets back stronger together. You who helped them separate, how did that man feel? That's the story with PF. They have their own problems which we should not get in. Let them solve them. In English, we call it jihunye. The insect that eats itself. In English, not in Tonga. The insect that eats itself. You know, PF currently, PF does not know who their real enemies are. Because within themselves, they're not even trusting each other. They don't even have think tanks. People, they are not brains. They are just hoodlums. Hoodlums, people that are just stone throwers, rabble rousers. They just cause heat in a very small room. Think tanks to sustain serious and critical thought so that they can analyze the political situation. They don't have that muscle. So that's why, though they had one who just had the binoculars. But
I don't know what he sees in there.
Whatever he sees, it's in his own head. You can't think like that. They're also living in dreamland. They are in an illusion. That's where the problem is. They are in a denial. They think that the 1 million votes, the difference that was there, people will just come and say, I think we are complaining. UPND is not doing its best. Suddenly that 1 million can change. No. They just have to work hard. These people in class who thinks that there is this teacher who gave them a test, when the results are announced, he says, no, sir, the test had a problem. What did you write? You can't keep blaming the teacher for having given you a test. The test was there. What were your results? Believe them. If you failed, well, pick up the pieces and start all over again. You don't just become, I'm a teacher by profession. Pupils that do not accept their results don't learn anything. But chandana move if but they don't accept the results. They don't get anywhere. And you can't teach them. They are unteachable. And PF will get nowhere because they don't accept the facts that are on the ground. The writing is on the wall. They say they are rebranding, but let's be honest. What did they rebrand?
Right.
A T-shirt? They rebranded a T-shirt at least. Now, where can a T-shirt take the country? No, because if they had rebranded at that time, there was going to be a vibrant leadership that was going to be composed of think tanks, people that were going to sustain critical thought. So right now, they are not strategists.
No,
They cannot strategize on anything.
100%.
They can't strategize. And in this time, if you can't strategize, so you don't have a plan. And people now want to hear what plans they have. The plan that they have is to take a drunken candidate for Ukwa to go and mislead people at a rally. Come on.
And you know, I mean, let me just write on that comment, Mr. Himo. So already is causing, I mean, Calabandi's group, Sleepless Nights. Following that press conference he had, was that Friday or Thursday, where he declares he's the leader of PF. So and that, you know, he's gonna go for it come 2026.
Which PF? Which PF? The one which Mao's has, or the one which he has?
The one which he has.
What about the one which Mao's has?
Oh, that's a bloodline. PF.
That's
the legal one.
PF now. There are three. So there's Mao's PF, Chavinga PF, and the top notch PF.
Mr. Lungu's PF.
Are not top notch then?
Things have fallen apart.
I'm telling you, they are killing themselves. These are the last kicks of a dying horse.
Yes.
Yeah, but then with his pronouncement, my question is, with his pronouncement this past week, where does that leave Ukwa? Where does that leave Harry Kalaba, Savoy, that young man who was promising Silavwe? Where does that leave them?
Well, the West is
coming. The problem.
Whatever is coming out tomorrow will also doom that
unit.
The big one. The big one tomorrow.
Brought by that student.
It will further crack whatever will come out, because there are some that do not want that Chaponaman to be there. They don't want him. And tomorrow's judgment will spell something. But he's just hanging on. It's only a foolish fly that goes with the corpse to the grave.
The problem is by PF. I mean, that's why you're saying that they're not think tanks, because anybody can say, like, look, out of the whole bunch, there's nobody who can raise a finger or his hand to say, I want to be the president. Tapari, why do you have to always go and bow down to Lungu? Is Lungu that powerful for you guys?
No, Lungu. I mean, you know, they're looking up to Lungu for. I mean, they know Lungu has the money, right?
He has the money.
Lungu has the connections.
The money.
So that's where there is, because you know, in Zambian politics right now, tell me which one, you know, among us, or among the millions, can sponsor a political party for years, because
GBM.
Oh, but GBM is broke.
There we go.
Yeah,
GBM.
Yes, GBM is down. GBM has no political mass.
But the PF party.
Yes.
This is the end. This is the beginning of the end.
It's good riddance. Let them just phase out.
If you think about GBM, look at the way they chased him like a dog that has stolen eggs out of where was that? In Luapula. Where was it? The island. You know when he took supposedly Primac ballot box. Remember how they chased him like a dog that had just eaten eggs or something.
You can fool some people.
You know, and that's the one you're going to say he can lead. He's got the political muscle to lead anybody.
No. Maybe Wachanda can even lead. He can even be a better candidate there.
Yes, no, let's bring
I,
him.
I wouldn't even dream of going to PF.
No, let's bring back our fellow
Vakazia.
Livingstonian. Yeah, let's
Vakazia.
bring.
Oh,
No,
Bakazia?
no, he
Okay.
was
Hey,
Bakazia,
driving.
maybe.
He was
hey.
driving. Our resident PS was driving. We dropped off along the way.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
bring in.
We got two chandas here. There's Bakazia, PS,
Oh,
and the me chanda here.
I mean
Yeah,
Vakazia. Vakazia.
Yeah.
our resident. And that's why you see. That's why I call him the our beloved
Oh, the
resident.
Yeah.
resident
Yeah.
permanent secretary. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
our resident
No,
PS.
Baba Chimbakambwide Bena Vendra Pepama wheelchair.
But
Baletine milandu bali. Baletine milandu.
magani ya
Am-
mugaya bachirufyai magani ya
Baletine
mugaya
milandu balya.
eh
Nga wandera mu wheelchair kutine milandu kulya.
kani vamu vukula vawala. No, let's bring it
Mbachoko.
let's bring it back to my fellow Livingstonian here, Linoe Muela. I know you dropped off. I'm pretty sure you have something to add to this discussion that we're having right now on the Imingalatos in the PF.
Imingalato. You see, can I start first? You know, when you talk about Imingalato in the PF, I liken it to MMD, where one guy said he's a political engineer. You see, we thought those things died. He boasted on the rally, I'm a political engineer. I thought it ended. Now it has come to PF Imingalato. Come on.
Yes.
And where's MMD? It's gone. Let's learn from something.
The MMG is still here under Mr. The Reverend Nevers Mumba is
How
still
many
kicking.
MMDs are there? There are two?
Oh no, the other one isn't the other one gone?
I
Ah,
don't know.
The one, the other one that came
When
to the
parties start
UPND.
splitting up like that, then you know
eh,
that's it. A party ya tampoko but new PF, new
eh,
BMMD, new
eh,
whatever, then you know that's it.
All right,
breakaway.
let's allow Mr. Muela to say something out of Livingston. Come in, Mr. Muela. We're still discussing the Imingalato in the PF. Your comment, sir. You can unmute yourself. Or maybe
Okay.
he's having issues with the network. Because I know in Zambia when
You know,
when you have
as we wait for him, let me say
uh,
something about Imingalato. Right? Imingalato is in football, where you are it's dribbling, simply dribbling. Eh?
uh-huh.
You are dribbling a ball from who? You are you want to be a striker, defender. Where are you taking the ball? Who?
Well, let's not. Barbara Banda did it yesterday, but that's a comment for another day. Let me bring in here my sis. Look at her looking all fly. Lady Sarah, we are talking in Mingalato in the PF. Take it, my sister, wherever you want to take it.
Oh my goodness, I'm taking it to the go.
Oh, wait.
My sister, I've just
But
joined.
don't
I don't
don't
even
score
know
your
what
own
you're
goal.
talking about.
Now
No,
don't score your,
we are
don't
talking
score your
about
own goal.
all the confusion in the PF. That's what we're talking
Now
about.
sister who has just come in,
uh-huh.
when you talk about taking it to the goal, don't score your own goal. PF is scoring their own goal.
Like
PF is scoring their goal.
our vice president, you heard Lady Nalumango talking in parliament.
I'm also
Like,
very happy.
that
I'm very
PF
happy that
yeah, at my PF they're like that at Tihunya, whatever.
Jihunya, you know we've been talking about Jihunya over here for the
that's
longest.
an English word. It's an English
I'm
word.
glad that my aunt actually brought it back into Parliament. Go ahead.
That animal, that's your insect. It eats itself.
Yes.
I'm wondering how it eats itself. This is what my PF are doing. Those are foolish mingalatos, useless mingalato, where they cannot even score well. You know? And then they call the old man, Mr. Edgar Chagwalung, to help them play the mingalato. How can you score that guy? He never scored in 7 years.
Yeah, and we have a judgment tomorrow. We have a judgment tomorrow on his candidature that was brought in, that brave young man from the University of Zambia. I can't wait. Let me bring in another lady here. She's a new entrant. She's watching us from YouTube. Her name is Miriam Tyler. Please show us your face and tell us where you're joining the podcast from.
I'm in the U.S., Connecticut. And I'm sorry, I'm at work, so
okay, you're just tuned into listening.
yes,
No, we appreciate you. So hopefully, maybe when you can hide yourself, you can share one or two comments as we go along the way. So let's go back, Kuriba lady. No. Let's go back to our Livingstonian, Mr. Muela. You ready to speak now?
I was a bit busy. I think I missed the question.
No, we thought maybe you had something to add to the Imingalatos in the PF, or as our vice president called them, Vajihunya.
No. What I can say is, look, these are self-inflicted wounds, and I think it's unfair for anyone to blame the UPND for these problems that the PF is facing. Like I said earlier, look, you want to accuse. You're saying, no, these are the guys, they are meddling and they are what. But here is Maus is back, and he said he has reconciled with Edgar Lungu. So at which point was the interference? And he himself, who has gone back to reconcile with Edgar Lungu, says that he has come and is saying that I was not sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on his own.
Yeah,
yes, he's on his own. So I think, that's my contribution for now.
Oh, great! I think we should. Actually, let's move on the conversation. I'm so done with this PF. We have other important discussion to be had over here. So we cannot be stuck with PF for long. But unfortunately, even the next story is kind of connected to the PF. But let me set this one out. Sister Valerie, Sarah, if you can help me, we're going to start it this way, a little different today. Let me get rid of my singing voice. Sausage, Bambi Munani. But Lady Sarah, you should be saying. All right. Let's go again. Sausage.
Can I have somebody else to start? Let me just drive and go where I'm going a little bit.
Okay, great. Anyway, and now with that start, let's talk about the former Lusaka province commissioner, or inspector, however you want to call her. She's now a convicted, I would say, corrupter, or however you want to call her. Miss Harriet, she's a felony, or however you want to describe her, but she's convicted. A plunderer, so to speak, Miss Charity Katanga. So we saw this week the debt moved in to seize all her properties, those luxury $1 million worth buses, and hand them over to the state, and some monies, I think, amounting to 1.5 million kwacha from a bank. And for me, I'm waiting for more fish. This is just a tiny little carpenter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Just a little one.
in the thick of things. So and then and I know over here we've talked about corruption and what it entails, what it means for the country. Gentlemen and ladies, when you heard this, what came to your mind, and how do you feel about this corruption fight? And guess who is back? Anyway, let's start with you, Lady Sarah. You're saying
Oh, she's
you're
driving. I mean, they said she's driving, so
yeah,
she
okay.
can't
Oh,
say.
she's just listening in. Okay, let's start
Yeah.
with our UK man, my fellow
Mr. Mark.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
man who
see,
represent. Go ahead.
you know, the policewoman, the police is there to protect life and property.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine the judge looking at this case. The police job is to protect life and property. Part of that property at times is for the public. Financial resources, public funds are public property. So if you fail to protect public property, why should you have that much of thing? You can't account for what you have. She certainly used public property to acquire what has become private property. Let the law take its course. Personally, I'm very excited. I don't even have any ill feelings. Let them get everything. Because some of us have worked in government for over 30 years. We've amassed nothing. Nabachandao. Nifefe bakapiopio. Look, you can imagine Bachanda resident PS. Nothing. But in her case, just a short time, she's there. No. Even if she's just a small fish in the lake, let them know to say their day is coming. The day of reckoning is certainly coming. Public property is public. You can't just privatize public property for nothing. No. Money. How many policemen were not paid allowances at that time? They would line up somewhere, and when someone is passing, the route lining avenue, nothing is paid to them. Just how? Some even used to go to monitor elections, to provide security at elections. Nothing was paid to them. They would just complain to you. We've spent 4 nights in the bush and they're not paying us. When they want to revolt, the offense is big. It's mutiny. It's mutiny. Because it becomes mutiny. So imagine how many policemen died inside. But our freedom cut in her time. How many? So it's fine. Let them get whatever she has.
Great. We move on to the man on the ground in Livingston. How are they? How are people there feeling about Miss Katanga losing her monies and those luxurious buses that were the talk of town everywhere you went? Mr. Muela, please come in on this one. All right, yeah, probably doing something else in the background. So let's move on. Let's move on to our resident PS. I'm pretty sure he has a lot to unpack on this.
No, you mean on the process of crime?
Yes.
Vaziale,
For me, I think for issues to do with process of crime, I just have a problem with putting the onus on the accused, because you see, they can get your property because you can't account for 100 kwacha how you got it. That is one of the things. I've always been thinking that he who alleges must prove.
Okay. Must prove.
Because what are you talking about? What are
He
you?
alleges.
I mean, we are talking about the case that's already concluded, and the man What did I say?
The
The man,
woman.
the woman. I beg your pardon. I beg your apologies. I beg your pardon here. The woman was convicted.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
hear me, Wakalinda, what I'm saying, because the case has been decided, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like my personal view about the issues to do with process of crime. I want it to be there, but I want that when we are convicting people, we must be the ones to say, well, these are processes of crime because of ABCD. Not where we get and say, okay, can you prove where you got this from? That is my view about how the cybersecurity law has been used. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I understand.
We hear you loud and clear,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We hear you loud and clear. But on that issue, I mean, the government caught you with the case. They say, okay, fine. Now we've in Sapato. He should retain. And then Walanda Dawe when you Sapato should retain. Avanshiteni bahangu. Iwe. Vawive nsapato echiteni mushopu. Era olera tawe nsapato chaivire. Niba hangu evanshitire nsapato echi. Okay, fine. Kanshi ngari banko bo bakushitire nsapato echi. Tulange ndalama bakufere. Osho bafunishe mu account. Or isho bakupere or whatever. Can you prove? Now olesa ngati banko bobe bafuma kumusavya. You know, tabakwata nechiri chonse chakwati kuti warandati kuti vakupereza pato chiri pera. So the government is there, they should let you be for. So that's how we say at the end of the day, they found you guilty or something. Oh, when I send anything, I've agreed to the fact that I obtained this. Okay. Because if you after past stage Jakobati, the government forfeits those things. Nishivasanga back up a point Jakobati. You don't have proof on how you acquired Ndalama Shakusha or who your uncle is. Because I mean, you're looking at 10 high buses.
Okay,
how much
because
money
you
does
see,
a police officer get paid?
Now, the question we push up, the example that you've given. But then the question, how did the government know that this is a stolen shoe?
What do you mean they investigated? That's why you're
if you say, if you I don't have, because it's a law, it has to be used that way. And that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, for me, I'm saying this law is a bad one. It's not a good law. Because all of us, including women, receipt they can get a property that you will fail to account for it. Yes, Mwalangi said, wow, Masafika Pali 200 kwacha tapali. You know, 200 kwacha mafumishi kwisi, receipt tapali up. You can easily abuse this law because when you want to fix someone, you can use it. Mamona, that's why I'm.
No, but we have to follow where the money. When you're doing investigation, follow the money.
Monen, if you are going to use, I think government, yes, in the Rama politicians, which is the truth, including the ones that are there. They survive on kickbacks. They survive, the politicians, all of them. They survive by their connection. They survive with connection. That is just the basic truth. And anyone who would tell you that no, they don't survive through connection, they do it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that Gamwasangati Ali then the person must come to show cause because there is someone complaining. But in the master of and the parliament, the master already saying that, oh, but under the so it must be a process of crime. That must be abused. For instance, Mamona, Mamata maybe may not know. I'm a retiree, I'm a retiree this time. And I was lucky when I retired, I was paid my own money off that I was on. Which doesn't usually happen if you retire normally. Those are some of the challenges that we are dealing with in terms of trying to reform the pension process. But that aside, I'm concerned with how the state, not just It's not just the UPND. I'm talking about any other. It could be PF, it could be anyone, it could be socialist. This is a law that can be abused very. That is what I'm saying. But if the courts have decided, who am I to say no? Hey, what should they have decided? You see, that's the thing. The courts have decided. So I have to respect the decision of the court.
Oh yeah.
Even if I'm
President.
yeah,
President.
Corruption, 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 corruption.
Right,
No small
right.
corruption. I mean, a public service workers should not be involved in corruption. I mean, Waka Popola, we all know how much the police get paid, and their duty is a service. You're not there to enrich yourself or get a much.
Yeah,
That's not
you're
your
not.
job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so because if you engage yourself in those, that's why you end up doing wrong things. That's why you end up becoming a PF police officer. Because if you beat more UPND cadres, you lock up a then they give you a kickbacks like that. They say, oh, Tolako Peramanani, for doing a great job when you went to ambush HH at night. You know, whipped all the workers. You know, they went into the wardrobe. You know, they went even into a private clothes. They did all sorts of things, and ended up, you know, defecating in the kitchen. And we all know who did that. No one. And then they give you a kickback. I don't know, yes, I'm a police officer. We can accept that.
Professional police officer. Did you say professional police officer?
I don't know. I'm PF medical professional, PF regime.
No, those were professionals, actually, if we are fired or retired in national interest. Let's just put it, let's just put it out there. Well, let's allow other people to come in. Look at the man who hasn't been here in a while. Bakalapa. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, and you just come in where we're talking about Mrs. Sausage Woman, losing her millions, and she's going to jail. Of course, she's appealed. We know that, but isn't she in jail yet, or has she appealed? I need to find that about. But anyway, we're talking about Miss Charity Katanga's proceeds of crime going back to the government. Your comment?
Yeah, I think that's a very good precedence. The only thing is very few people have gone in. We are still waiting for the big fish to go in, but I don't know. The process is just too long. I hope maybe it's gonna deter the current people right now, like the ones in UPND. They have to know that if I do this, this is just an example. It could be me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, shall we bring in here Mr. Muela? Is your comment ready on Miss Charity Katanga losing a million?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. I think laws exist for a reason. And this law has been there for some time. And I think it's important that public servants, civil servants, need to be held accountable. I think in the end, it's not just civil servants, because I think if we, for example, like Makajila was saying, to loosen laws like this, these we are going to see a rife in cases of money laundering, because if you are saying he who alleges must prove, just because you can't prove that this money is either being laundered or being stolen, does not mean that someone should not be held accountable. Okay, if someone gets 8,000 kwacha, for example, as their salary, and all of a sudden there's 10 million kwacha in the account, I think it is wrong for you not for law enforcement to leave this person because they haven't seen where this money has come from, so they should leave this person. Those could easily we can easily see people money laundering, you using these money laundering schemes through this, and those are things that we do not want to see. I think it's only right that our top cop has had these the buses forfeited to the state, because I don't think it should be a problem if you earned your money correctly and rightly, for you to be able, for you to fail to provide proof of where you got the money from. So, like I said at the beginning, laws exist for a reason, and it is to prevent such occurrences. And of course, this should also deter any prospective criminals or people that may want to involve themselves in dark corner meetings or kickbacks that you have not that you cannot prove on where the funds that you have are from. So I think this is a correct move, the best move we can have. Thank you.
Just to write
Absolutely.
down that one.
And
Before
before
I
anybody,
forget,
uh-huh. Who's-
before I forget, to write on that one. Just like in the modern world, banks should actually work goes hand in hand with the government and with all these agencies. Because sometimes when the bank will know, like, okay, individual A gets paid, this is the salary that comes into the account every month. Now, all of a sudden, you're starting to receive different things. One, you don't own a business. They know that you're a government worker. They know every month, for example, you get paid for
Yes,
argument's sake, 1,000 quarter.
that's a good
And then
one.
all of a sudden, 10,000 here, 200,000 the other week. The bank should raise those alarms. That
I
should be
have a
standard. Here in
testimony.
the here
I
in
have a
the
testimony.
modern world, yeah. So here in the modern world, that happens automatically. They will question
I
you,
have
and it will trigger that.
I have a
I think
testimony on
even
that
in
one.
Zambia it's there, but I don't think it works really.
It
I'm
works.
not sure.
It
It
works,
works.
but
I have a
all right.
testimony.
But
I have a testimony.
before you come in with your testimony, Mr. Marshall, let me just
Yes.
put the figures out there, because sometimes when we just put words without really putting in the figures, it doesn't show the impact. And so this is a woman. She was a deputy inspector general of police. Okay, number one, she's found with these 10 high-end buses valued at $2.1 million. Okay, or on her salary or whatever, allowances she was getting, $2.1 million, Madam Deputy Inspector General of Police, and then you have about 1.5 million kwacha in your own personal bank. Come on, people. Now bring in your testimony.
My testimony is as follows. I'm in the UK here. My wife also is in the UK. We have a small project home. So while I was in Zambia, she sent me some money in my Atlas Mara account. That money reflected, and the next thing I was getting were phone calls from my bank manager. We have received money in your account. When we look at your account, it's just been this salaried account with the 1,000 balances are shaky, sometimes even hours. How come? Wachamenya mabahuti wagaibu. Yes, I'll come and tell you where that money has come from. They were concerned. When I went to tell them this money has been sent by my wife in the UK, I said, oh, does she work there? I said, yes, she works. Can you justify her income? I said, no, that's beyond now. Just enough to say she works. So this money is verified where she comes from. She pays tax. Even for her to send this money was been allowed by the system there. So this money is clean. They didn't ask me any further questions, but they were interested to know just how my balance rose Bachandana mwisama thousands to follow good. People are paid, right? LOI server maybe 10 times so. No. They were surprised. So it's just normal that Katanga should explain. If she was in business to make that money, was she paying tax?
She failed to explain. That's why she's a convict now,
Yes. So,
brother. That's why she's a convict, and because of having a I mean, she tried to explain and said, "No, I borrowed money from my uncle, and the uncle couldn't back up his claim that he was a millionaire, and so she lost the case." Let's move on, people. She lost the case, and I hope the next big one, the one I'm waiting to dance on, is concluded this year, and the many others, because as Zambians, we are tired, people. We are tired of hearing so and so is corrupt, and then we don't see any convictions and forfeitures at the end of the day. We are tired. I'm speaking on behalf of Zambians. All right then. Shall we move on, people? Oh my God, I am trying to end this in 2 hours. So now it's okay. So we have a little time. So how about we talk about now? Let's head on to the next topic, which is the one that I'm really smiling about. I think it's my topic of the week. Of Vendetta finally securing that $250 million that they need to pay off official creditors, hopefully by July 8th and or July 14th, so that my people in Kitwe, my people in Chimwemwe, Parklands, and you name it, Kumindo law should be Bakula Salula. Yeah? By the end of the week. Okay, so gentlemen, let's start with the man who loves this subject so much. I can see his lips moving. He's ready to talk. Batufia.
Yeah. Of course, I love the mind so much. Yeah, it's a positive move. At least we're seeing something positive coming out of all these negotiations that have taken so long. So $250 million pay off creditors is a huge thing and a positive thing. I think that money will be circulated in the community, and all those people that were owed money, at least they can breathe. They can finally breathe, after all those years of just waiting for their money, which is, I think, was very unjustifiable and sad at the same point. But at
I
least,
have a question to the team. I have a question.
What's your question?
Here's my question. How much has been, maybe from what you guys have known and heard, what is the projected revenue that a person who has been civil servant should have? How much do they own if they've been working for over maybe 30 years? What should they ideally have own? What should be the value?
Well, that's a whole different topic altogether.
That's a whole different topic.
That's a whole different
now we've
topic.
moved out from that
What we're talking about is the good thing that Vendetta is going to pay off the creditors.
Okay.
That the previous regime failed to do. The current government is now going to pay off the creditors. They've negotiated, they've reached an agreement.
On your minds,
and on top of that, I know where you're going, but on top of that,
no, you don't. No, I mean,
all the workers or employees are going to be paid off a one-off 2,500 one-off, and plus they're going to be given a 20% increment in their salaries. What's wrong with that?
On the issues of the mines, that one I have had too much experience with it.
Yes, that's why KCM was closed.
So listen, I have respected KCM before it was closed. I was there when the dictator was actually taking office. In that office, I was there. I was there after. So I know too much about those mines. Yes, you guys that have been here, you can talk about them, yes, because from the angle of what you've seen, I had the chance to experience it firsthand. I had the chance to lead the delegations there. So my experience and my view there is totally different. So you may quickly say, oh, this is what
I know what your question is. Okay,
May I
Bobby, what we're
interject?
saying is
no,
May I interject
the
here?
All
you
right,
have
let's
to
have
let
one,
me finish.
gentlemen. Let's have one person talk at a time.
Thank you, Madam.
May I interject? May I interject?
Okay, it's an interjection.
May
You don't
Wachanda, PS, President PS. Therefore, I am Tweve Chachitike because I was watching that video, that TV, that live thing when you were in KCM, when you went to KCM to do everything.
Yep.
To even you educate us. I remember watching. You were in that party. Please educate us so that there is this misinformation.
Yes, because you see, there's been so much of information and people they do things, saying things that didn't happen, and the things that are realities about that company. There's a lot that people, if you have taken time, even the current government would have learned from the team that went there. We were never asked to say what happened about this. From a government point of view, when I was still PS, nobody from the current government said, okay, you guys, we saw you in there. You first hand, can you give us a first hand information in terms of what you experienced and what you saw there? Nobody asked about that. What they did, they went quickly to say, oh, no, these guys are good. It's different. So much, and that you can be able to say they are different, yes, and laugh at PF and laugh at us that tried to save that thing. But let me tell you straightforward things. Vendetta are crooks. They are crooked, number one. Whether you not learn now, but you are going to learn in the future. Because for that kind of hostile takeover was like every day they promised. Do you remember what they said when even PND came in? They said $2 billion, they are giving $2 billion. That $2 billion promise of investment has been there for just 10 years. Every time that now, the time like that they are supposed to invest $2 billion, they change the CEO. And this CEO comes for meeting with government, with his shareholders, say, oh, we are very good now, we are trying to do this, and they promise again. You give them the timeline, or 2 years, whatever, 1 year, then when they come, they change the CEO. They change the CEOs maybe 3-4 times. This is the same thing they did when UPND got in power. What did they say? $2 billion. What was it? If you go on Bloomberg, check. They're supposed to pay $2 billion from the creditors that they had. They used KCM as a pawn. It was a promise that they promised they borrowed against that mine. So even when you remember what we had this conversation, I told you to say 2 billion will not be seen. These guys are liars. They are crooked. So if you think that KCM has come on board and these guys are going to do whatever, yes, they will use it at 250 million and thereafter they keep quiet. They kept shortcutting the contractor. One contractor contracts, supplies 50%, they give him. When he wants to use his balance, they change goalposts. They get another one, they pay him 25%, 3 years. So this is why you see all these contractors that are complaining. If you had any chance to sit down and ask the contractors from that mine, after there's been an experience, those guys are crooked. And this is the thing that government needed to know. So that hostile takeover you see was because of the crookedness of Vendetta. I mean, even now they're still crooking us.
Well, I mean, but our resident peers, by resident peers, I mean, I think you bring out very valid points, but at the same time, let's remember that under this new regime, the mining law has changed, and we know that Vendetta signed the agreement that states that if you don't do what you said you're going to do, you're out. That's the difference. You guys in your time, you didn't have that. And so they were free willy-nilly doing whatever they wanted to do.
Makalina, these guys do not shun away from signing anything. They never shun away. They will very quick, they sign. Ask them, ask Kabushwe. Ask PS Mines to come on this forum and tell you how many agreements they found there. How many agreements have been honored. They shortcut us. They pit us against each other. When this government comes, they pit on you, they change. These guys are chameleons. They never want us. They never want the group that was dealing with that in UPN and the group that is in UPN to meet and say, let's compare notes. And as long as that is not happening, we are fighting and condemning each other. They are happy. They are ripping us.
Well, I mean, I think we're gonna have to wait and see on that one. I mean, let's wait and see, because if they don't do as they're supposed to do, we have checks and balances. This government will be held to fire, including Vendetta themselves, because we will then ask, why are you not following the laws of the land? Whether you are getting kickbacks or not, we shall not stand for that. Let me bring in somebody else. Let me bring in somebody who is in holiday mood. He says he's in the beautiful, he's at the beautiful beach of San Juan in Puerto Rico. All right. My handsome, lousy doctor, he's in today, all the way from Puerto Rico. Welcome into the discussion. We're talking about Vendetta and, of course, our beloved President PF. I'm sure you've heard his argument, which we actually value. Please, first of all, show us. We want to see the beach.
You want to see the beach? Oh my goodness!
Yes, show us.
I'm in a bikini.
Who cares?
Bikini, mama.
Chandakazia knows already. We've been talking already. Anyway, I don't want to be to take your time. Yeah, I'm here in Puerto Rico for a lot of other stuff. But yeah, my what Chandakazia said is true. But I think as Zambians, we should now know that these guys have been beating us for a long time. I think for us, I think UPND government is smart enough to know that they cannot play the same game over and over. I don't think that's going to happen again. The problem with previous regimes is because some of these investors were funding the party in power. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah.
If you are sleeping with the enemy, you know it's something else. So you have no negotiating powers, because that's what happened. These guys were funding PF. So this Secretary General used to go to them and give us this money. They used to give them. Give us this money. That's a problem with the previous governments. They used to allow themselves to be funded by the so-called investors. Okay, so if you do that, yes, they'll manipulate you. So the most important thing is to make sure that you don't depend on them as a party in power. Just let them follow the rules. And I think that's what's happening here. Okay.
Something.
Yeah, something. That's the problem. That guy, the PF Secretary General, everyone knows this is what he used to do to businesses in Zambia, investors in Zambia. He used to basically tell them every month, give us something for the party. That's the way that's why PF had a lot of money, because of that type of stuff. Yeah. So
when you say you say something, in that agreement, there is a clause whereby either parties can go with the agreement in the event that things are not working the way they are supposed to work.
Yeah.
But because of that something, it defeats that clause.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
So this something that you're talking about, the something has been given when you said you never get that mine back to Vendetta, and it was given back. Something has been given, isn't it?
No,
you see, guys, when your friends, you see, guys, this is a problem that we have, and it's a very big problem. When we say this is a problem, let's put the heads together. We started blaming, these guys were corrupt, they were getting something from them. So, and the president was in parliament, not once, he was even in a press conference. These guys lie day in out that Vendetta is going, you are giving back the mine to Vendetta. The next thing, Vendetta gets the mine. So something was paid. So when it is you, then something is not paid. When it is others, something is paid. Guys, let's go out from this thing.
I'm not saying the something was paid to UPND.
No, I'm talking about what Danny is saying. But I'm responding to my friend Danny. We've had this conversation before. Because when you say, something was a party, I'm asking now, if that something is happening then. So, has something been paid now, since there was serious presidential pronouncements of never giving Vendetta back to them? Has something now been given so that now they get the money?
No.
No,
Now,
but I mean that was a
now
legal issue.
listen, this is what I'm saying. When it is from ourselves, us like maybe critics of the president, when you use that narrative of saying, oh, but I want PF because something was given, that is why they never happened. We
But
also
uh, but but
remember.
but but Kazia, I mean, I'm not going to say you, but your former Secretary General,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. What's his name
No,
again?
PF
David
Secretary
Miller.
General, because I was not
Yes.
working for PF. I was
Yeah,
not
well, yeah,
working
yeah.
for
Okay,
PF.
but I mean, we have to say it. This is what
He used
we're giving you the difference, Bakazia.
that's
The
the word he
former
used to raise his money. But
the
So,
former PS of the party is on record,
yeah,
and this is something that they won't hide. He's on record as going to KCM to collect millions
yes.
on
okay.
behalf of the party. Let
So
them
he's on
say it.
record. I like
Yes,
when you bring the issues of record. The
yes.
president is on record and you choose to not talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the president was on record, but then
Saying what?
when he went there, and I mean, yeah, of course, he did say Vendetta we're not going to get the
Where
money
how
back.
many times did the president
However,
describe Bandeta?
Bakazia, there's a difference. Whew. Let me just. I think there's a noise
Yeah.
that's coming in. Okay, so let's just put it on record here. Of course, the president. Oh my goodness! People, mute yourself. Okay, let's mute ourselves. Somebody mute yourself. Oh my God. Oh,
Who is that Wakarinda?
I
Someone
don't
driving.
know. I have somebody
Somebody
unmuting.
driving,
They are
whoever is
here
That
driving.
is
muting and
Ghani.
then. Oh no no yeah yeah
I'm
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
muted myself.
Okay, great, great. Okay, now we're back. We're back. So here's the president is on record as saying, yes,
Uh-huh.
as the new Dawn government,
Uh-huh.
we will
Uh-huh.
not give the mines back to Vendetta.
Uh-huh.
You
How
know,
many times have you
that
said that?
was several times. That was a pronouncement before before he was elected. Now,
No.
once he got elected, Bakazia, people have to look at the legal matters. And you're looking at a mine that will take you to the dogs.
Kazia, mute yourself.
Yes,
Mute yourself, Kazia, when you're not talking.
yeah, let's do that. So, I mean, that's the difference. They had to look at the legal issues surrounding kicking off Vendetta out of KCM. We have to look at the legal implication of that. You don't just kick somebody out without having a plan. But I think this deal, yes, we know how people, I mean, our brothers and sisters in India operate. What's going on today? Okay, somebody unmute yourself, please. Okay.
If
Everybody
you
seems
can
to
see who
You
is
be
not
can
on
muted
mute.
the
and you can
road.
mute them.
I can't because I've muted everybody from my end, but people keep unmuting themselves, and I have to go, and then I lose my my thought. So anyway, where was I before I go to step again? So I said they have to look at the legal implications, and this is a new Dawn government that's methodical. Let's remember that the rule of law is above.
Wakarinda.
Okay, there I
Wakarinda.
said it. Okay,
Wakarinda.
okay.
Nobody. You see, when I was discussing with you, Wamacha asked me a question.
Uh-huh.
Can you bring us to speed on what happened on that day and what the experience has been? So I brought my experience from what Vendetta does, not from what PF was doing. I am talking about Vendetta and how criminal they've been, such that this current government must learn and pick one or two things to say, this is what is going on. How do we change it? Now, instead of having to discuss that, we start discussing the PF Secretary General. So then now we go into starting
No, the
that
reason
president. I'm
why
telling
that
you.
came out, the
No, but
reason
you
why
see, I
that
have
came
to. I will not. You see, when that conversation is decided, tracks to start bringing in people, but something and everything. Then I have to give you an example of where, even on record, Bakalinda, the president spoke when he was not president, two times when he was president, that we will never do that. And then that finally gives it out. I don't have a problem. He can give it out when he has seen other circumstances around it. that, okay, now maybe things have changed, maybe the legal implications have properly been explained to him. Now he understands where he is. Therefore, maybe the best interest of the country is to give it back. I understand that. You
And
understand?
also,
But
let's remember
no,
that. Let's also remember. Just let me do a write up on that, Vakasi. Let's remember, at the time that happened, at the time the PF took over KCM, Vendetta rushed to court. They were in the courts. They were in courts in London. They were in courts in Zambia. Let's
and we
remember
were
that.
producing and paying
Yes.
people. You understand? That was the goodness. The
No.
production was on, and
But you put KCM under receivership or
but,
liquidation.
Kalinda, the only you will never beat these guys, and I trust me, and I'm telling you for a fact. This is a free advice. You can take it or throw it away. You will never beat these guys using the legal systems the way they are. They are always 10 steps ahead of us. They always hire the best lawyers.
Yeah. But PF, you had 7 years to deal with, or over 7 years to deal with that.
Kalinda, listen. How things are happening.
Landeni Bakazia, you are warning us. You're giving us a warning.
If you quickly start to brush out when people are telling you, guys, be careful with these guys. Don't look at the person telling you.
And we appreciate that.
Yes, but you see,
and on the right of that, we are saying we have the law now that's been worked on.
Okay.
And we have already told Vendetta that even if you don't pay one minor, you're out. That's what the
Vamashina, we appreciate Vamashina for your advice and for your warning. Okay, but what we can tell you is this government is way much different, structured, and the way we operate from the PF government.
Nipano to the let's keep this going. I am coming after 6 months.
The PF government was doing things or running things.
Absolutely, you're coming after 6 months. You can't.
Of course, the Vedanta can behave the way they behave. It's because there was no discipline.
They even behave worse.
Natumfa kale natumfa mdala natumfa.
All right. I think we're gonna go back and forth with this. I know emotions were high.
Natumfa kale.
Let's bring new entrants to the discussion here. All right, this is my brother, Jigonka Mijela. Welcome to the discussion, my brother. And are you driving?
I am driving. I'll be all right soon enough. I mean, I got it late. I had a little boy in my truck here.
Okay.
So can you hear me okay, everybody?
Now we can. So we're talking about Vendetta and securing that $200 million that they're going to pay off official creditors by Friday this week. Your comment there, my brother?
Well, I don't have much of a comment. I think most of this stuff, like the UPND government has been doing, like most people have alluded to, is that they are different from how things were done in the PF and previous government. So really, I just wait to see what it is all about. I don't really have much I can input in or allude to some kind of doubt. I hear one of the gentlemen here, I don't know, he sounds like representing the previous government or something like that. Like, whatever the argument is all about is where I joined in. What I don't understand is, like, I don't know where it's going, but my hope is that it's going the right direction.
Correct. Absolutely wonderful. Let's bring in Lady Sarah here. Your comment. I know you want to say something on that.
No. I don't want to say anything right now.
Okay, great. Let's move on the conversation to who is in. All right, my Livingstonian Linoe Muela. We're talking Vendetta getting that $250 million to pay official creditors by Friday this week. Your comment on that, as somebody, like we always say as Zambians, on the ground. Your comment.
He's not in?
No, he's in. I can see him. I bring him in? Yeah. Yeah, he's there. All right, he's probably doing something in the background. So shall we move on? Who hasn't
I'm
spoken?
here.
All right, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I think not actually. I think it's the economy needs money right now. To be honest, the economy needs money, and we need this money as soon as possible.
Right.
To bring down the rates.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's Mr. Linoy please come in.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, what I'm saying is, I think right now the economy needs money, and it needs money fast. I think we can all admit, for us who are local, that the economy is a little bit slow. Right now, probably the buying power. The buying power is not as much as we would love to have, and we need more money. We need suppliers to be paid. We need people to be paid, and more of this money to get into circulation, and whoever is owed money to be given their money, and that's what is going to actually help when it comes to stimulating our economy. And we need household spending to go back up. So I think this is a good move. We need more of contractors in the mines, contractors in suppliers in government to have to get their money, so that we can see movement, and there's a trickle down effect. Whenever this money goes up, contractors get, suppliers get their money, everyone gets their money. It trickles down into the economy to everyone who's owed. So this is actually a good move that we need. And I hope we can have more. We can have more of this happening, because I also know, I think places like ZESCO and many other government owes a lot of suppliers money, and I think this is a good move. If we can start at least breaking this down, this money is going to come down into the economy, and we are going to have domestic spending go up, and this will actually help in stimulating growth, as well as stabilizing stabilizing the markets at the current moment.
Yes.
Right.
Can I come in?
Mr. Himwam. Yeah, please come in.
Me and Mutinta, you and I should be smiling over this money. Ask me why. We are from Nampundwe.
Yes.
And you know what will happen? I was there just a month ago. Contractors there had downsized on the labor. They had laid off people because they didn't have money to pay. Some were even owed months and months. They were not even paying rentals. They were not paying service charges. Now, with the coming of this money from that vendetta, suppliers and contractors being paid, that money is going to have a multiplier effect. Some children had even stopped going to school in private schools. They couldn't pay. Parents could not pay. So there is a multiplier effect of this money. Though we are not sure. Some of us are not sure whether it will be there. But I hope the clause that states that if either party is not happy, they can have this agreement revoked. I think with this government, that's what can work. Mala ayagusiga bwe.
Tell them, my brother. Yeah,
ayagusiga. I live in a mining town called Nampundwe, where KCM has a mine. And I see when KCM has paid the contractors, has paid its suppliers. There's money that flows around. Even the woman at the market who sells roasted maize. There's people that come to buy. That woman who sells tomato. That transporter who has a bus between Lusaka and Nampundwe does more rounds. There are people building there. So it will just inject money in the economy. So it's a good move. Though it may not continue like we have been told, but for now, we are in the now. Let's use the now.
Well, it's actually it was a court ruling. So this one, there's no way Vendetta can backdate or whatever or say, oh no, we're not going to do it.
And this is
a court ruling,
it's a government of laws. Our president has said that they cannot do mining in the courts. You see?
No.
You can't do mining in the court. So outside that, much as they have said the court has come in, but you can't do mining in courts. You have to do it in the ground.
So the judgment was by July 8th. Today is the 7th, huh?
Yeah, so tomorrow.
So
that's why
July
I'm saying
8th,
that
which
we
is a Monday,
by Friday.
$250 million will be in the escrow account. Will be deposited in the escrow account by July 8th. So that's it.
That's it. All right, let's move on to the man who's been too quiet. He's a former, Manchester United fan. Of course, former.
What happened?
Mr. Super Kalapa, please comment on this wonderful news coming out of Vendetta. Okay, he's somewhere. I guess he's just listening in. All right then, and let's see now. Shall we go?
Can I say something before I?
I was just about to introduce my handsome, lousy doctor husband.
Before I jump into the water.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about these suppliers, that's one other thing PF used to do wrong. Some of these suppliers were political suppliers. They were not real suppliers.
Yes.
And that's the reason why we keep on hearing, oh, so many suppliers haven't been given their money and all that type of thing. Some of these were fake. Malembe is a musician, but was a supplier to the mines.
Yeah.
They were supplying air.
What was supplying was zero.
Air.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So we should be very it's true. Malembe was supplying uniforms to Zambia National Service and the police force, but he has no clothing factory. He had no single machine to sew those.
Why not arrest him? Why not arrest those chaps?
Let's continue talking about. But so when we hear about suppliers, we should know that PF again had another little face of having these fake suppliers who were just demanding money from these mines, but they had not supplied anything.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so that's the only thing. It's true. It's there on record. The suppliers, some of these suppliers were fake.
Yes, they were non-existent.
Yeah, and that's why, some of these things, let's just be factual here. I mean, when we started off at Vendetta, we were told, they owed billions to begin with, and they had to do an audit to actually get the real figures. I mean, numbers don't lie. I mean, we can even, I'm now digressing. Just let's talk about the wonderful dual carriageway that's being done between Lusaka and the Copperbelt towns. That carriage highway was supposed to cost us how much? $1.5 billion. How do you explain the drop down to 600 million under the new arrangement? Those are some of the things that we
Those are easy to explain,
about.
Wakalinda. Those are very easy. Very easy explanation.
Our beloved resident.
I will easily, first of all, there's one question which has never been answered every time that discussion happens. One is, let's see the BQ. And also, let's see what was involved in 1.5 billion, which has been taken off or been added. Is it that there has been a reduction on the same plan from 1.2 to 600? So that then we know this was going to be utter safety in the daylight robbery. Because if we get the BQ and say, okay, this is what should have been the scope of works, this is
The
what should have
hotel.
been done. Yes, this was going to be 1.2 billion. This has now been taken over. If
BantuTV, when you are poor, you don't put in like zero things in there
no, but that
that
doesn't
will,
mean
blow
the
out
mere fact
the budget.
the
All
mere
right.
fact that you have put in things that makes you doesn't mean that you are stealing. It doesn't mean so. The question is, if you have reduced 1.7, what have you taken off? Because if
Hotel.
I think the big question is this: how much money was paid to that same code contractor under
30
that
million.
one?
What
How
was
much
paid
and
for?
how much work was done?
I like that
Okay?
question. And
Absolutely nothing.
that is a question that we must answer. When you say how much and how did we pay? Because you see, if we paid and someone did not supply, why should we give that? Why should that person walk free on the streets of Zambia? Why?
We are
Because you
coming
see, this
after
narrative,
them. We are
no,
still coming after them.
we are tired. You cannot for 3 years talking about the same thing without anyone arrested. This Marembe, you put our
No,
lives.
at least as we show
Guys,
action.
no,
The deal that we struck.
No, guys, stop manufacturing lies. Stop manufacturing lies. You cannot
Vamashina
manufacture.
moneni, vamashina.
You can use
This,
Our
okay, vamashina moneni. Here's the truth.
beloved PS, we
Here's the
don't
truth,
manufacture
vamashina.
lies.
Here's the truth. The truth is this: the deal that we've struck, the
Is working.
construction is underway.
Yes.
Okay,
And fast.
it's not just on paper.
It's working.
It's on underway. So imwe iliye mwalesa era yo 1.5 tukakule amahotel tukachitiki
alokulanda kwalianguka imwe
nendalama mwalipira contractor ayanapachaji manshi namwe yamukwakanama ukava
on the new road I was just in Zambia recently in May and I drove on part of the construction of that job, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing.
All the roads done in Zambia,
and there's a lot of. If you want to talk about Dama Roads, let's talk about Dama Roads. Let's talk about that road in Twin. Already, I was there 2
Ring
days
road,
ago.
ring road,
Yeah,
ring
yeah,
road.
ring road. Already, I'm a potholes now. I'm a quality. Gentlemen, we need to bring.
Okay, why don't we stay on point of the conversation?
Let's move ahead.
Point of order, gentlemen.
All right.
All right, gentlemen.
Let's stay on point. I mean, we are digressing to some different conversations outside of the quorum here. You know, our PF have no shame for what they've done, so we just have to be quiet and move on with the constructive part of our lives. At this time, let's move on with the program so that we don't spend too much hours pointing at who made what, when did they do that. It's unnecessary. We already know that the government is building the dual carriageway. Somebody did not. They told us they're going to do it. They didn't. So they told us money was paid to somebody. We don't know who received it, but we are moving on. So what's the next topic?
All right. Well, it's been almost 2 hours, and we're not gonna go 3 hours. We just need to wrap it up as it is. People have stuff to do. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon. I need to go take a dip, enjoy my little Ciroc before the week starts. So now we move on to our wonderful segment we call the rant.
The rant.
Yeah.
I'll
Who wants to?
I'll start.
Yes.
Over 50,000 young Zambians have been put on Zambia's payroll in under 2 years. 50,000. It includes
Yes.
policemen, soldiers, teachers, nurses. Big up to UPND government.
Moving on, Lady Sarah.
50,000. What's under? 50,000.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good one. That's
Clap
a
for us.
good one.
Clap for
All
us. I want
right.
you to hear you clap.
All right. No,
Okay,
but PS.
Clap.
let me clap.
Clap
Clap.
Yes.
your
That's a good one. That's a good one. Mhm.
All right, so let's move on to how about we go with you, Mr. Muela out of Livingston. What's your rant for this week on this week's episode? What do you feel like you just need to get it out of your chest? Come in.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think my rant is on. I think Wakajira mentioned something on. He that alleges must be able to prove.
Yes.
So I think for me, everyone, I think everyone with money or with resources should be able to actually prove the source of the resources that they have. I do not think that is much to ask. Okay, if we find you with 1 million kwacha, it should be so easy to tell us, okay, I found this money this side. Otherwise, that money is questionable. Is it miracle money? But I think, yeah, so everyone, I think this law was put for a purpose. Okay, this law was put for a purpose, and it has been in existence. Why should it be questioned now when there are hundreds or a lot of people who cannot prove the source of their wealth? So I think we actually need to have this law strengthened.
Yeah.
Okay, we actually need to have this law strengthened if there's any way of strengthening it. Okay, to make sure that we avoid people that are going to steal or try to launder money into the country. Yeah, I think literally that's why. So even you who has resources, we should not just stick on he that alleges must be able to prove. Even he that has must be able to prove the source of the riches or the wealth that they have. Thank you.
Right. Brilliant submissions there. How about you? We go to my our resident PS.
My rant
Your rant.
my rant is on Kawana and Matembo.
Oh my God.
That is my rant today.
I was trying to get away from that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we don't have the full audio, so it's impossible to
I have.
go.
You see, this is a rant time. It's not subject to a rebuttal. Do we the rebuttal the rant? We don't, isn't it?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So my rant on Kawana and Matembo, they must be either arrested for trying to cover up a crime, they must be fired, or they must resign on their own. We cannot have senior government officials try to cover up a crime like that. That is just uncalled for. It is not necessary. It is a recipe for serious disaster and serious criminality that should happen. Those are two senior government officials who have sworn to protect both the presidency and the laws of this country. We can't have them plan evil like that. We can't. They must go, or they must be. In fact, they must go and be arrested. You can't cover up a crime.
Right, moving on. Lufia, what's your run for the week? I think we've lost the others. What's your run for the week?
Well, my run for the week is it's just surrounded on the Rana and Kaneva Lungu family and the pressure that he had, coming on top, looking like he's a top-notch politician. He created a top-notch constitution, and but here's the thing: You know, I mean, there's some revelations that caught my eye. Va vanani kane valungu forced was forcing members of parliament, okay, to be donating to a so-called first lady first office money. I'm a parliamentary and should be donating here money. An office that doesn't exist in the constitution of Zambia, an illegal office, first lady office. I'm sure Wakazia knows well about this one. I'm sure he even contributed a lot of dollars there. So those are the illegal things that were happening during regime ya Balungu.
Yes,
So much
ladies.
that watampo kuisopolola hapa, it will be from here to Dubai or to Mwezi. So there's so much. So you cannot be a top-notch politician when you're doing the wrong thing. And
Top
why
notch
would the
tip.
people of Zambia
Top
come
notch
back and
tip.
say, we want to vote you back in power to come and do what? And here's the thing. When he was on the presser, this boy, IP, who's actually a PF sympathizer, he asked him a question. He said, what productive things are you going to do? Pamdala, he was busy. He started talking about but there is London. He had to come up again and ask him the same question twice. He said, what productive things are you going to do? So he's thinking about production. If the West comes to the West, we'll take the street. Surely. A statesman? You want to take the street? Mwepo kuleta Kenya situation in Zambia. Because these are the sentiments chimwe chine na chile chimudala chile chisavimbi. He's been saying all those same sentiments, saying that people need to rise up and go against the government and protest. Protest for what? You want to bring the same thing that's happening in Kenya. Muleo mpwa inaba nenu ku Kenya bari rwagulia. A confusion because PF they're using confusion in their head. They want to kila bakalipa vile takuli confusion kila amakofi yakwali wakuma makofi no ngana so mama so yale kalipa take your youth. In fact, who's this the government is employing soldiers every day. They just employed
National
over
service.
25,000 25 Zambia army soldiers. Even Peter Sinkamba's son was employed. Peter Sinkamba, bashukuru na bena balia. He's busy on the Facebook posting, oh, congratulate my son. He's been employed. He's now a soldier. He went Ukwarali Kuria telling people, telling the youth, start writing your names up a pen. I will employ you when I become a president. Can you imagine? The same person who learned that I will employ you when I become the president. His son is employed. He said, Tamil employment in Musambia. Tamil employment, the youth are suffering. But his son is employed. That's my rant. I give up.
Can I rant for the second time?
All right, one last time, Mr. Himwami.
The traditional ceremonies that are happening in Zambia are bringing together chiefs from different parts of Zambia. They have this unity, which we haven't seen. I like that one. The Luindi, we had the Bemba chief, the Eastern Man chief, coming to be even this Livingstone chief. What's fun?
Oh, my chief Mugoni. That's
yes,
my chief.
beating a drum for them. They dance. That's where we should go. That's the unity we want, not the disunity which these PF hoodlums want to bring about. We are not interested in that one. Tribalism is dying. It's not there anymore now. In fact, it should become a criminal offense to be a tribalist. If you are a president who just puts up 31 PSs from one or two provinces, you must be sued and disciplined. Criminal offense.
All right. Well, as for me, let's close this thing up. My rant for this week is just probably a word of caution to us parents. And this is in view of the recent arrest of the former Republican president's son. What's his name? Frederick Chiluba Jr. 40-year-old man. What are you doing breaking into somebody's house at that age at 2 a.m. in the morning?
40 years old.
40 years old.
Former ZAF,
What,
former
you know,
ZAF.
he's former president's son.
He was
Frederick
even in
Carter.
ZAF.
Yeah.
He was even
he
in
was
ZAF.
okay. What are you
Yes.
doing? What are you doing? So that's just a cautionary tale to all parents that let's invest in our kids, and I know once these kids grow, they have their own minds. But please, this is just something else. Anyway, that was my rant for the week, and shall we just go ahead and shut this one out and say, look, you guys, until next week, keep the faith. It's been Bantu TV. That's how we do it every Sunday. Join us next week.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.